Hi, Olga Onoshenko, PhD here, and I'm a nutritionist, psychotherapist, personal trainer. And today I don't want to offer you a list of foods that help you lose weight. I want to talk to you about ideas that we rely on when we want to lose weight and change our bodies. In my practice, I see people who know exactly what they need to do, what to eat, how to exercise, but constantly fall off the wagon, go into that circle of restricting and overeating, and feel exhausted, feel guilty, and even sometimes feel ashamed of their bodies and their eating behaviors. But there is nothing wrong with them. The problem are those toxic ideas that we think are normal and healthy. In this video, I will talk about 6 toxic ideas that prevent us from healthy weight loss. And they seem logical, but they actually harm us. We'll discuss how they influence our appetite, self-esteem, nervous system, and quality of life. So if you are stuck in a circle of restricting and binging, or if you sometimes cannot say no to cookies or ice cream when you're actually not hungry, if you suffer from emotional eating, this video is for you. And more probably if you really dislike your body and this influences your quality of life. This video is for you, and I suggest you to subscribe to this channel because this is where we're talking a lot about psychology and physiology of weight loss, eating behavior, and healthy lifestyle in general. So what are these toxic ideas? These are the ideas imposed by diet culture. What is diet culture? It's the system of beliefs that view thinness, certain body type, and food restrictions as signs of health, success, self-control, and moral superiority. How do these toxic ideas get into our head? From TV, social media, our circle, and so on. But we need to learn to question these ideas. Which ideas are the most common among my clients? First of all, these are normalizing disordered eating. And we can do this in 4 ways. First, we normalize chronic dieting. It's normal to constantly cut your calories and avoid food groups. And actually, from time to time, we do need to restrict our food, our calorie intake, because we live in such an environment that is very obesogenic. And there is food everywhere, hyper-palatable, affordable, available, and we live in a lot of stress, so it's really easy to overdo it, even if you have great relationships with food. Therefore, we do need to be aware and to say no sometimes to a croissant. But what diet culture wants us not to trust our bodies, not to trust its signals of hunger and satiety. And if we are in constant cognitive restraint, if we are constantly on diet, what will our bodies want? And we are constantly under-eating. What our bodies want? Our bodies will indeed crave hyper-calorific, hyper-palatable foods. And this is not okay. And this can be worked with. This can be improved. We can learn to trust our bodies. For example, if you go to a restaurant or to see your grandma who cooks a lot of tasty food, then you can just relax and trust your body's hunger and satiety cues. Maybe the food will be more calorie dense and you will most likely overdo it on calories, but you will not go overboard. And then you will be hungry later and it will not impact, like occasional going out or visiting your grandma will not impact the big picture of your health, fitness and leanness. How else disordered eating is normalized? Binges are normalized. Some people say I binge or I sleep off the wagon, and this is sort of normal thing, but it is not, because binges can be of different extent. Very often when people say I binge on something, it means a tub of Ben & Jerry's, two tubs. It can be much more if that's binge eating disorder. It can be amount of food that does not feel good, neither physically nor emotionally. And every binge is very taxing for our mental health. And binges happen because of emotional and physical exhaustion. And this is also something we can work on together, reducing your binges and normalizing relationships with food. Intensive exercise with a single purpose of calorie burn and punishing yourself for eating calories or bad foods. So if I exercise with only one goal, to work off extra calories, and I don't enjoy it, and it doesn't bring me energy, it doesn't bring me mental clarity, there are no other reasons I exercise, then there can be a problem, because training solely to compensate for calories is not fun. It can classify as self-abuse if you don't really enjoy it, if you truly don't appreciate other things it can bring you, such as health, amazing well-being, increased energy, increased productivity, caring for your body, feeling good in your body. And fourth thing that is normalized and is not normal is demonization of foods. We normally say that there are no bad and good foods and there are shades of gray. Diet culture does divide foods into good or bad, and it makes us feel guilty for eating bad foods. Here I don't imply that we cannot call a cake or an ice cream bad foods. But when we eat it, it doesn't make us automatically bad, breaking the rules. Food shouldn't have moral value. Every now and then you can see in my Instagram stories that I eat bad foods. And I show this to demonstrate how you can have flexible approach and still be in great shape. But a piece of cake or a cookie or ice cream or anything else should not be an event for you. Shouldn't be something you're so looking forward to. The importance of it shouldn't be very high. If food is emotionally charged, there is something wrong. Okay, second block of toxic ideas is that thinness will save the world. And this means that thinness is success. It shows that you have willpower or moral superiority and health. And all of these ideas are not true, because if thinness is a success, I cannot be successful if I'm not lean enough on the number on the scales or on how we look like. This is a sure way to a poor mental health. Basing your worth on anything is a sure way to a poor mental health. As Albert Ellis, an author of REBT, suggests that we need to accept ourselves and feel worthy by default. We don't need to earn it, we don't need to be anyone, we don't need to be perfect to be worthy and to accept ourselves. And if we do not feel worthy by default, our mental health will eventually struggle. Talking about thinness as a sign of health, let's think about people who are thin because they are sick. For example, IBD, irritable bowel disease, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, other physical diseases. And being too thin may also bring chronic fatigue, hormonal imbalances, eating disorders, and nutrient deficiencies. Think about bikini models who are exceptionally lean, and many of them have troubles with cycle if they got too lean, not very carefully, and if it's not their natural state. Because some women indeed are born to be super lean, stage lean, but not so many of them. So hormonal disturbances and amenorrhea are very common among bodybuilders, female bodybuilders. People in different shapes and sizes can be totally healthy. How do we know if we're healthy? Your blood tests are normal, cholesterol, lipid profile, sugar, hormones, micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, such as iron and vitamin D. Then also, how do you feel? This is a subjective criteria, but very important. Do you feel energized? Do you sleep well? Are you free of aches and pains, constant hunger or lack of appetite? This all matters. And also weight to hip ratio is only one of the indicators of metabolic health. So you can live in bigger body, but if your waist to hip ratio is good, then probably there is no problem. And finally, thinness as the sign of willpower and moral superiority. Bullshit. This idea is so outdated and more so damaging. So your eating behavior and your ability to say no to undesirable foods are much deeper and complicated things than you may think, than willpower. For example, self-regulation skills work way better than relying on willpower. The idea of detoxing, we all know that our body detoxes naturally, and the liver breaks down harmful substances, kidneys filter blood, gut eliminates waste, and they do not require intrusion from outside. Our task is to support our internal organs that are responsible for detox, to support our body so that organs function well. And how do we do it? Healthy eating, physical activity, good sleep, managing your stress. And managing your stress is easier to say than to do, right? Invest in therapists, in a good one that can help actually either solve the problems or take a different view of the problems, or learn to live, to tolerate, to healthily cope with the problems that cause stress. Cleansing, detoxes may disrupt your gut microbiome. It can damage gut lining. We want to protect our healthy bacteria. We don't want to clean them out. And it's important to understand that digestion is a normal process that is lasting from 24 to 72 hours, and there is always some food in transit. We don't need to get rid of it. And the idea of that we're dirty is toxic. We're dirty and need to be cleaned. We're dirty inside. I don't like it. So it's marketing, right? This does not require explanation. I hope so. Fourth, your body needs to look a certain way. Is the other toxic idea diet culture makes us believe. It sets unrealistic body standards and everybody tries to look like Zendaya. But if genetically you're more like Beyoncé, then your task is to be the healthiest, the happiest within your genetics. Because if you try to be leaner than that, then you're leaner than your healthy, genetically healthy weight, then there can be problems. Hormonal problems with thyroid, estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, and that's just the beginning. Is it possible to fluctuate below your set point, your genetically healthy weight? It is, yes. I know people who are constantly hungry in order to be leaner than they are designed to be, trying to chase thin ideal. But if you are pre-menopausal, this is a dangerous thing to do. And what are beauty standards? It's just a trend. It's a fashion. How about Renaissance and Baroque, when bodies were full, soft, abundant? And that was highly desired. And you know why? Normally, what is desired? What is rare and hard to obtain? During Renaissance, it was hard to obtain curves, fullness, softness. There was not enough food available to everyone. So fatness meant status and reproductive ability. Nowadays, thinness is hard to attain. So thinness means desirable partner, because if you're thin, you have time to exercise, you have money for a nutritionist or a therapist, and you experience less stress, and this all help to maintain lean body. I read an Economist article, a really good one, that asks a question. Now that Ozempic is going to be very available, cheap, available, and thinness will be not hard to obtain, what's next? What will be in fashion? And the author suggests that it's either muscle, because muscle is still hard to obtain, or just average body that says that I don't care about beauty standards, I'm too cool, I'm too elite to care. So that average, not fat, not thin, just normal, healthy, uneventful bodies will be in favor, will be signaling about status. The last toxic idea is that calories are the enemy. We should be afraid of calorific foods, even such as hummus, egg yolks, nuts, and so on. But you know that calories are energy. Our bodies use calories for energy, and we do not only burn energy when we exercise. We burn energy when we are resting, when we are sleeping. For example, I burn approximately 1400 calories during the day, even if I just lie down. Even if I just sit all day and do nothing. And 1400 calories is quite a lot of food. Not much, but you still can eat if you do not move, if you do not exercise. You still should eat. You require that energy. So why I address these ideas? Because they prevent us from achieving our goals. What's the mechanism? How do they prevent us from achieving our goal? Because such ideas normalize self-abuse. They teach us to ignore hunger, pain, emotion, energy needs of our bodies. And diet culture wants us to believe, if I'm not thin, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. So if we eat and exercise based on what diet culture demands and not what our body really needs, then we'll burn out very soon, either physically or mentally. So we'll quit and feel defeated, or we'll start binging and restricting. So what's the alternative? Is it to lie down on the couch and eat donuts? No, we go deeper. We want to care about our bodies from the position of acceptance of our bodies, whatever its shape is, whatever the number is on the scale. We learn to work with our bodies, not against our bodies. We learn to develop our personalized strategy to maintain good health and good shape. And this is our choice, which shape we want. This should not be dictated by diet culture. So how to rebuild health from another angle? What to start with? Because it's not an easy process to shift from diet culture to caring about our bodies with compassion and with self-acceptance and with appreciation of our bodies. So start with the questions. What kind of movement would feel good for me? What really drives my eating patterns? Be curious. Don't be critical if you eat emotionally or cannot say no to cookie. Go and explore what's going on. Am I nurturing my body or am I punishing it? And of course, you need to leave a lot of room for experiment, for trial and error, because this is not about perfection. This is a journey. It requires time, it requires effort, it even requires discipline. Because yes, sometimes we need to go to the gym, although we're mentally tired and don't want to go to the gym. And sometimes, yes, we need to tolerate discomfort of saying no to extra cookie. But we need to do it from position of our own choice, our autonomy, self-care, self-compassion, self-acceptance, and not from position of trying to fit, trying to follow the values of diet culture. So in comments, I would like to ask you to write down your experience with diet culture. What helped you step out the trap? Have you been a victim to diet culture? Please share your experiences. Also, please please share with anyone who would benefit from this video, and subscribe, because more videos are coming your way. More videos are coming, more useful, therapeutic videos are coming your way.